Welcome. Imagine that one of the richest men in human history sat across from you and answered a simple question. Why do most people stay poor? Not because they are lazy, not because they are stupid, not because they lack potential. Then why? John D. Rockefeller spent his entire life studying money, business, success, and human behavior. He started with almost nothing. No wealthy family, no powerful connections, no shortcuts. Yet he built one of the greatest fortunes the world has ever seen. And after decades of success, Rockefeller came to a conclusion that may surprise you. Most people do not remain poor because of a lack of opportunity. They remain poor because of the way they think, the habits they repeat, the decisions they make every day, and the beliefs they never question. Today, we are going to explore the lessons Rockefeller understood about wealth that most people still ignore. Some of these ideas may challenge what you have been taught your entire life, but by the end of this video, you may begin to see money, success, and your future in a completely different way. Let's begin. When Rockefeller was young, he did not dream about becoming rich overnight. In fact, one of the greatest advantages he had was something that many people would consider boring. He understood patience. Most people want success immediately. They want results this month, this year, right now. Rockefeller thought differently. He understood that wealth grows the same way an oak tree grows. Slowly, quietly, almost invisibly at first. But year after year, its roots grow deeper and its strength becomes impossible to ignore. This is where most people fail. They give up too early. They start a business and quit after 6 months. They invest and panic during the first downturn. They begin learning a valuable skill and stop when progress feels slow. Rockefeller knew something they did not. The greatest rewards often belong to those who stay in the game longer than everyone else. And perhaps this is the first reason why so many people remain poor. They underestimate the power of time. They look at successful people and see the outcome. They see the wealth, the freedom, the success, but they never see the years of preparation that came before it. They see the harvest. They never see the planting. And perhaps that is exactly what Rockefeller understood better than almost anyone else of his generation. He understood that wealth is not something a person chases. It is something a person builds, brick by brick, decision by decision, year after year. Most people spend their lives searching for opportunities. Rockefeller spent his life preparing for them. There is a difference. Opportunities often appear unexpectedly. Sometimes they arrive disguised as problems. Sometimes they arrive disguised as hard work. And sometimes they arrive disguised as risk. The average person sees uncertainty and steps back. Rockefeller saw uncertainty and asked a different question. What if everyone else is wrong? Throughout history, fortunes have often been created during moments when other people were afraid, when markets were unstable, when businesses were failing, when the future looked uncertain. Most people respond to uncertainty by waiting. They wait for better conditions. They wait for more confidence. They wait for guarantees. But life rarely offers guarantees. And while they wait, someone else moves forward. Someone else learns. Someone else builds. Someone else takes advantage of opportunities that were available to everyone. This is one of the harshest truths about success. The difference between two people is often not talent. It is action. One person spends years preparing to begin. The other begins immediately and learns along the way. Rockefeller understood that perfection is the enemy of progress. You do not need perfect conditions to move forward. You only need enough courage to take the next step. Many people believe that wealthy individuals think differently because they have money. The reality is often the opposite. They have money because they learn to think differently. Consider how most people react to failure. They see it as evidence that they are not capable. They see it as a sign that they should stop. They see it as proof that success belongs to someone else. Rockefeller saw failure differently. He saw it as information, a lesson, a necessary cost of learning. Every successful entrepreneur, every investor, every leader, every creator has failed many times. The difference is that successful people do not allow failure to define them. They allow it to educate them. And perhaps this is why so many people never reach their potential. Not because they fail, but because they stop after failing. The fear of failure has destroyed more dreams than failure itself ever could. Rockefeller understood that mistakes are temporary, but quitting can become permanent. This lesson becomes even more important when we talk about money. Many people believe wealth is created through extraordinary intelligence. They imagine that successful investors possess secret knowledge. They assume that wealthy entrepreneurs see things that ordinary people cannot see. Sometimes that is true, but much more often, wealth is created through consistency, not brilliance. Consistency. The ability to make good decisions repeatedly. The ability to avoid destructive habits repeatedly. The ability to remain disciplined repeatedly. That may sound simple, but simple does not mean easy. Most people know what they should do. They know they should save more. They know they should learn new skills. They know they should spend less than they earn. They know they should invest in themselves. The challenge is not knowledge. The challenge is execution. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Rockefeller understood that success is rarely determined by what you do once. It is determined by what you do consistently. And consistency requires discipline. Discipline is not exciting. It does not create headlines. Nobody celebrates discipline on social media. But discipline quietly builds futures. While others are distracted, while others are chasing trends, while others are looking for shortcuts, discipline continues working. This is why so many people overestimate what they can accomplish in a month and underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years. They expect dramatic results immediately. When those results fail to appear, they lose motivation. They change direction. They start over, and the cycle repeats. Rockefeller's philosophy was different. He understood that extraordinary outcomes often come from ordinary actions repeated for an extraordinary length of time. And once you truly understand that idea, everything begins to change. You stop asking how to get rich quickly. You start asking how to become stronger every year. You stop searching for shortcuts. You start building systems. You stop comparing yourself to others. You start comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. And over time, those small shifts in thinking begin producing enormous changes in reality. Because the truth is that wealth is not only a financial condition, it is often a reflection of habits, a reflection of discipline, a reflection of patience, a reflection of responsibility. And perhaps this is why Rockefeller believed that character was more valuable than money itself. Money can be lost. Money can be stolen. Money can disappear. But character remains. Character determines how a person responds to challenges, how they treat opportunities, how they handle success, and how they recover from failure. In the end, Rockefeller's greatest lesson was never really about money. It was about becoming the type of person capable of creating value. Because when you create enough value for the world, wealth often follows. Not immediately, not easily, but eventually. And that is a lesson that remains just as powerful today as it was more than a century ago. And perhaps that is the most important lesson of all. The people who achieve extraordinary results are rarely the people who discover a secret. More often, they are the people who remain patient when others give up, disciplined when others become distracted, focused when others lose direction. John D. Rockefeller understood that wealth is not built in a single moment. It is built through thousands of decisions made over a lifetime. The decision to learn, the decision to improve, the decision to continue moving forward, even when progress feels slow. And the same opportunity exists today, not only for investors, not only for entrepreneurs, but for anyone willing to think long-term and take responsibility for their future. The question is not whether these principles work. History has already answered that question. The real question is whether we are willing to apply them consistently enough to see the results for ourselves. If you found value in today's video, consider subscribing to Wisdom Vault. Our goal is simple: to explore the timeless lessons of history's greatest builders, investors, leaders, and thinkers. Not just to understand how they became successful, but to understand how their ideas can help us build better lives today. And if this video inspired you, you may also enjoy our lesson on what Rockefeller knew that 99% of people still don't understand. Thank you for spending this time with us. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, keep building, and remember, the future is not created by what you know. It is created by what you do consistently. Thank you for watching.